So you know what that is. That is the WWE Ultimate Edition New Generation Arena. You know this because you can read and because you clicked on the video, presumably, so you know what you're getting into. I'm gonna just take a look. I'm not gonna do like a full unboxing video or anything like that. I'm basically just gonna try and offer my own perspective and do a few things that I have not seen other people do. That way this video is a little bit more interesting than, let's say, just watching like somebody else unbox the arena, because anybody who's interested in this has already watched videos like that. So once you open the box, here's what you get. It's a nice printed on little image of the neon sign that we're gonna get, although it's technically not accurate because they were WWF at the time, but you know, you gotta just take what you can get at this point. WWE will always just erase WWF from existence at this point, and for legal reasons, so I don't expect them to like just start throwing the old logo on. But I don't mind this. It honestly does not bother me in the slightest. You can see the little graphics at the bottom advertising that they have indeed unlocked all of the backer tiers. Little flap thing on the bottom, and away we go. So right at the top of the box, let me move the light here, actually. So when you open the box, the first thing you see, I'm moving this damn light. This is right in the way. So first thing, straight out of the box, you've got the entryway, which was a big sell for a lot of people. And I'll be honest, this was probably the least interesting part of this whole package for me. I was never a New Generation guy. I'm familiar with the New Generation from like going back and watching some of this stuff, but like this era of wrestling was never something that I watched, you know? So for me, this is all just kind of, it's cool to have, but I don't necessarily love this era of wrestling, so it does nothing for me. But that said, seeing this in person, that's actually quite impressive. I gotta hand it to them. Like, this is a much bigger entryway than I thought it would be. I don't know how big I thought it was gonna be, honestly, but I mean, I think it's deceptively larger than I was expecting from the promo shots that they originally showed. And you can see that the curtain has a like plastic protector thing on it, so you pull that off and the curtain does separate in the middle, so you can have like a guy walk through there or whatever you want to do. Battery compartment on the back and a little switch, so I guess this is probably just like a test button, I don't know. Or if that's just like how you activate the lights and the switch just kind of is a kill switch, I don't know. Alright, we're loaded, 4 AA's in there. Moment of truth, let's go. Alright, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. Let's see what the button does. It just resets it. Oh, damn, look at that go. Alright, that's pretty tight. Alright, so here's what people are really interested in. Okay, so I guess that's just the boot up. Yeah. Alright, that looks actually really nice when it's illuminated in the dark like that. I'm sure with a little bit of spotlighting or something like on the entryway, that would look quite nice. Alright, so I got one small light right over here pointing at the entryway. And I gotta say, you know I just mentioned before that this was probably the least interesting part of this set for me, but I think seeing this in person has turned me around. This is actually really cool. And I wonder if I press the button again, if it does like a different... Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I see what's kind of happening. So the first time I pressed it, this part lit up. The second, this. So I'm guessing if I press it again, this is going to light up, and that'll activate a third sequence of lights. Yeah, okay, so depending on how many times you press this button, you're going to get a different sequence of the light patterns. So the fourth one will be this. Very cool. And the fifth one, let's find out. Alright, so it basically just like repeats different sequences based on how many times... Oh, there's a sixth one. Damn. Okay, so that might be the tightest one right there. Look at that go. And then I guess you press the button a seventh time and nothing happens. It just like shuts off. So, okay, that's how you reset it. But yeah, okay, let me get the light back on. Alright, I'll shut this down. That's actually really cool. So depending on how many times you press the button, you're going to see different parts of this light up, and that'll indicate which sequence the lights are going to play out in. So, very cool. I did not see that coming, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Alright, so we're kind of going freehand here for a minute. This is everything else out of the box. You've got a bunch of the hardware to build the ring, including the posts and the the little things that I guess are going to support it underneath. You've got like the structure of the ring. There's the mat, the skirts. This is just like the instructions and the ropes and some other small components. You've got the two figures, Doink and Diesel, which, as far as I can tell upon just early inspection, they both look very, very nice. So happy about that. Originally, like I said, I didn't have too much interest in Doink. Diesel, I think I was more interested in, but you know, we'll see what I think of both of them afterwards. Some of the inner packaging actually has like crowd backdrop printed on it, which, I mean, most people who are like doing the kind of stuff that I'm doing already have like one of these extreme sets ones. But if you don't, this is a nice alternative, and you do get two of them, so you can stack them side by side or whatever you want to do. And then you get the wooden slats that are going to lay underneath the ring. So basically that's going to be your foundation for the ring, and then you're going to put the skirt over that. Now, like I said, I'm not going to do a full-on like assembly video. We're just going to get this thing together and see what it's really all about. So here's the frame of the ring put together. It does snap into place pretty securely, and it does come apart. So if you want to box it back up, but you're going to fight with it a little bit. But yeah, just so you're aware, this isn't like a one-time assembly thing. So here's the plastic fake molded wood pieces. You get 3 of these, and mine don't lay perfectly flush. I don't know if that's the table or if that's just because I haven't finished assembling like the whole structure yet, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there's got to be some support that goes under here, so I'm just gonna leave that alone for now. Alright, never mind. I'm an idiot. I just didn't push it into the thing all the way. I mean, it's still not 100% flush, but it's at least held in place now. Alright, so I know I said I wasn't going to be like doing a whole full assembly video, but I'm basically just proving myself to be a liar. So the ring mat actually fastens very securely. You can see like all those things is basically just, it folds over and basically flips into those things, which does make for a very nice smooth ring canvas. I gotta say, that looks really good. With all the supports added in here, both corner and edge ones and middle ones. So here's the ring basically assembled, although you'll notice I left the ring skirts off and the staircase. The reason being is that I'll show the ring skirts separately, but I never use those ring skirts on my ring anyway. I always put like kind of my own different ones on, usually just black because I'm doing it for like JWF or my own stop motion, so I don't need like WWE branding. Unfortunately, the turnbuckle pads also have always had WWE branding in my JWF videos, so I don't know, I might like just get a set of like generic ones just to be able to use this and not have that drive me crazy the way it always has. So yeah, this is a very, very nice piece. What I'd like to do now is some things that I haven't seen anybody else do in their videos. Let's roll. Okay, so we just had to move way back away from the table, but here is the Jakks WrestleMania 2 classic ring that came out over a decade ago. I couldn't even tell you when, but I've had this thing since 2010. And here is the new one, and you can see they are very comparable. In fact, more comparable than I thought they would be. I can tell you from bumping them up side by side, they are basically the exact same surface area as far as like the ring, like the flat part of the ring goes. You will see that there are some differences. Notably, these are metal on the Jakks version, whereas the Mattel Creations one, they're plastic. There is also, you know, Jakks was kind of famous for this. The posts also kind of pull in, so like to straighten them out, it would sit like this, but it always pulls in. The plastic Mattel ones do not do that. I don't know if that'll happen over time, but with Jakks, it was pretty much right out of the box. This is what happened. What's interesting is they both seem to feature the same setup as far as the turnbuckles and the pads go, so it stands to reason that you could just swap these onto here and you'll be good to go. So if you have like custom turnbuckles like I've got, or, you know, just something like that, you could probably put them on here. I don't know that the, what do you call it, that the ring skirts would work too if you have custom ring skirts, but I have a hard time imagining that it wouldn't. So it's just something to keep in mind. One other thing I wanted to make sure I pointed out is that you'll notice that even though it's set up the same way where you kind of hook the thing onto the turnbuckle itself, or onto the post itself, I should say, these pieces here are a little longer than the ones that come with the new Mattel ring, which means because all of these are longer on all 4 of the posts, you're going to have more room on the ring apron, whereas compared to this ring, there's really not that much room on the apron at all, which that means there's more room inside the ring of the new one compared to where this one, where it'll be slightly shorter distance. Alright, so I realize this is totally ridiculous, but maybe from this angle you'll be able to see that the new one does have a little bit more space inside the ring, and the older Jakks versions and I believe the repurposed parts that went on to become the Figures Toy Company ones, they will have more space on the outside apron. So it's just down to your preference whether you want more room inside the ring or more room for guys to stand outside the ring. But both of these are very viable options, and you can see that they're very comparable in size. Which brings me to, so this is the blue classic steel cage from the Jakks real scale WrestleMania 2 ring. This is the same ring that I've had for over a decade. If you've ever seen any of my wrestling animations, this is the ring that I've been using forever. So I'm very happy to say that the cage fits for the most part. So these pieces that connect the cage at the top, they work great. You can fasten them and that's fine. However, the bottom pieces, you can see that they're meant to clip onto the posts. And like I mentioned, these posts are a little bit on the thicker side. You could probably clip them on. In fact, actually you can. So maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's gonna stretch these eventually because they're meant to fit a much smaller post. But what I would suggest is if you have like more pieces like this, or if you can get a hold of them, these work on the bottom too. So you don't need to secure it necessarily to the posts. You can just, you know, put these pieces on the top and the bottom and it will hold in place, which means this new Mattel Creations ring will probably work with many of your old Jakks real scale ring accessories. Like this cage works. I imagine the Hell in the Cell would go up around it. I don't know how like something like an elimination chamber would work because that's probably more measured to the base and the bases may not be identical. But I mean, it's nice to have options, I'll say that. And I would imagine all the Figures Toy Company accessories would work on here too. At least, you know, you could finagle them and make them work if you have like the components and stuff in place. So yeah, that's really cool. I'm very happy about that. So those are the ring steps that come with this ring. And you can see they're cut out to fit around the wider ones, which I'm not sure if these are the same as the ones that come with the Mattel Elite Scale rings. If they are, then those probably fit too. These are the ones that came with the Jakks grapple gear sets. And you can see these are meant to fit around like the old hardcore rings, and they do work around the real scale rings too, the Jakks ones. It's not going to fit around this post, but I mean, like you can. It's as a showpiece, it works. It's just not going to fit perfectly snug. And I did forget to mention these two pieces that actually just clip to the back of the entryway, so that it's a little more stable. Wanted to show these ring skirts real quick too. So these are very, very nice. Initially, like I said, I had no use for these because I don't use like this kind of stuff. I always have kind of just black ring skirts because I'm doing like JWF or Super Tiger or whatever. But the style of material they've used on this, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it is like a more textured material and it's thicker, and I must say very, very nice. I think you get 2 of these. You get 4 WrestleMania ones. I'll turn this one upside down so you can see it, or rather right side up. And again, very nice quality. You get, besides the WrestleMania ones, you get 2 of these that complement the other ones that I showed at first. And then you get probably the main event, in my opinion, the In Your House ones. These are very nice. I must say, I'm impressed with this. And I think the last things to go over are Doink and Diesel, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time on. I think people have gone in depth on these already, so I don't really have anything to bring to the table, except to say that I'm very happy with the way both of them turned out. The likeness on Diesel especially, I really like. So yeah, I don't really have much to say about these. If you want me to talk about them, I can just shoot another video quick. I'm kind of running a little late tonight, so I do want to wrap this video up so I can, you know, edit it and hopefully get it ready to go for the week. But yeah, I mean, if I heard one complaint about this overall, it's that people were saying they were mad that it wasn't sealed in the package, meaning you could just like pull the thing open. There's no tape like there normally is on Ultimate Editions. So technically I could go like this and then close it and then lie and say, oh, it's never been opened, haha. Because I guess people are mad that it's not technically mint on card if it's been opened like that. But to you, if you're one of those people, I say just leave the whole goddamn thing in the box. What's wrong with you? Like, come on. But yes, overall, very nice figures. I will probably open these up and mess with them at some point, but I don't have the energy to do that right now because I am getting hungry. So I'm going to wrap this up in just a moment. So overall, I am actually very happy with this whole presentation. If you remember when this whole thing was announced last year, summer of last year, I put up a video kind of saying that I didn't feel that the value was worth the asking price, and I basically said that I expected this to not even fund if they didn't do something, if they didn't either add different tiers or call an audible and add something else, which they did actually eventually do. They added a Macho Man figure with an announce desk. As far as I know, nobody has that yet because that was a separate add-on, so that was that's yet to be shipped, if I'm not mistaken, for everybody. I gotta say, like, getting this out of box and seeing it in person has kind of swayed me a little bit. Like, the original asking price, like, I still stand by that. That was a bit much for what you were getting without the backer tiers. However, it became worth it when everything got backed. That asking price became a lot more fair. And then basically, since they added Macho Man, this whole thing backed, and it was like pretty much a wrap right away. For those who are big fans of the new generation, this is probably everything you're gonna want, honestly. That entryway is like I said, it won me over. It's great. I didn't know if I was originally going to keep it or what I was going to do, if I was going to like piece this out. Basically, the whole reason I bought this was for the ring. I wanted to see if this ring was a better alternative than the Jakks Classic one that I have, and you know, compare it to others. I know the Mattel Elite Scale ring is much too large for my animating area here, so that's just not something that I want. You know, I had one and I returned it back in the day when it first came out because it was just too large. Nothing I could do with it. This is much better scaled. I think it's more accurate, and I think it's gonna hold up over time. And I don't think this is the last time you're gonna see this either. I feel like, yeah, the new generation one might not come out again, but they'll do like a modern version of this. So if you missed this whole crowdfunding thing, I don't think this is your last chance to get this ring, or at least this mold for the ring. I do think there will be more of this, because face it, this is too good to not release. That entrance, I think this is pretty much the appeal of the crowdfunding thing, and that's kind of the only way you're going to get this. So, like I said, I wasn't even sure if I was going to keep that, if I was going to like it or care about it, but it won me over. And once again, I find myself doing that thing where I buy something with the intent of maybe just selling it or whatever the case. Like, I looked at this whole ensemble and I was like, I could probably do without the entrance stage. I don't need that. I don't need certain parts. I don't need the figures, whatever. But then I opened everything up and I basically just like committed to keeping everything. And that's how you end up with a second Sentinel in your closet, ladies and gentlemen, just like your old pal the Captain. Do that thing where I'm like, oh, I'll buy them both and then I'll just sell one and make some of my money back, and then I just trick myself into keeping everything. So yeah, that's the life of a collector, and I sometimes hate myself, but at least I'm gonna have fun while I'm self-loathing. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I got to offer a different perspective than you might have seen before with comparing it to the other ring and pulling out the old cage and everything. Very happy with this. Probably gonna maybe get different turnbuckle pads and just use this as like my JWF ring, and then keep my WrestleMania 2 Jakks ring for Super Tiger. We'll see how it all goes. I haven't really had time to plan anything out yet. But hopefully you got something out of this video. My name is Captain McKay, and we will catch you in the next one. Later on.
That's crispy.